coronavirus statistics, there's now 2,113,200 cases of coronavirus globally. That number's got to be at least 10, 20 times. Those are confirmed cases of people who actually took a test and were confirmed with it. And that also doesn't include, underestimates from China and perhaps some other countries as well. But I think that number is far, far greater. There are confirmed 140,370 deaths. I think that number is also greater. The United States deaths spiked to a daily high of more than 2,400 yesterday. More than 640,000 people in the United States have tested for coronavirus. Today, unfortunately for us New Yorkers, Andrew Cuomo announced that he is stretching the state's stay-at-home order for another 2 weeks through May 15th. It's unfortunate because we all want to get out. As I say, my joke every day, somebody ate a bat and then there was a run on toilet paper and now we're going crazy in quarantine. And that's the definition of bat crazy. It's unfortunate that, we have to extend through May 15th. If that's what we need to do to get this under control, better to stay in for 2 weeks than go out on May 1st and then cause a second pandemic, because you don't want to have another pandemic. Now, some governors across the United States have already lengthened their stay-at-home mandates past the White House's May 1st goal of reopening, just like Governor Cuomo did. Public health experts have warned that lifting social distancing restrictions after 30 days would lead to a spike in infections, just as I said. Now, this is what Governor Cuomo had to say at the press conference. He said, "I would like to see that the infection rate get down even more. The New York pause policies, the close down policies will be extended in coordination with other states until May 15th. I don't want to project beyond that period. That's about 1 month. So 1 month we'll continue the close down policies. What happens after that, I don't know." The United Kingdom also extended for 3 weeks as well. Now, Trump, in about an hour from now, just about the time when we get off the air on Bradshaw Live, he's going to start his pandemic press conference of the day. And he is going to announce the opening up of America again guidelines. It states that states, in order to open up, are going to require to have a downward trend of coronavirus cases. And then at that point, they will be able to open up some restaurants, some theaters, some workplaces, some sporting centers, some gyms as soon as May 1st. But we don't know exactly what he's really going to say until he says it in about an hour from now. We'll see how that all comes down. Now, coronavirus has affected unemployment, traffic deaths, crime, school shootings, mental health, obesity, you name it. A record 22 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits over the past month, erasing a decade of job gains since the Great Recession. More than 5.2 million people filed claims just this past week. A study published by UC Davis found that fatal motor vehicle collisions have been cut in half. Police departments are reporting drops in crime because nobody's out doing anything. The last month was the first school month since the year 2002 that there was not a school shooting. Why? Because there's no school in session. At the same time, calls for domestic violence have surged because people are home. They're stressed out. I feel bad for every sector. Every group of people have problems, from people in old age homes, which is the how many untold deaths of people in old age homes, and the fear that those who are still there and alive have to live through, that they're going to catch coronavirus and die. And, all the way from the elderly to our children, our teenagers, who you say, okay, well, they'll be okay because, teenagers are not dying at the rates that elderly people are, because it appears that, somebody with an underlying illness, somebody who is overweight, somebody who is over 50, those are the people who are more likely to become sick from coronavirus. So teenagers, they're immune. But, I feel bad for teenagers. I feel bad, that kids who are finishing up their high school career, high school is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be sit at home and do nothing. Kids who want to go to college next year and university, they don't even know if there's going to be a school open. College years are, if you go to a university, college years are your best years of your life. And to not be able to participate in college and university, and maybe these schools are going to be closed next year and everything's going to be online. So, there's stress and depression across the board, from the young to the very old and everybody in between. Yesterday, I know somebody who called my office and they were very depressed and they wanted to commit suicide. We got them help. They got hospitalized, but people are suffering. And for anyone to say you're not suffering, everything is great. The one thing that gets me through the day is that we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat, simply because there's nobody on earth who's walking around happy right now. So if you are feeling depressed, you are not alone. Please reach out to friends and family for support. Somebody reached out to my office for support yesterday. The best thing you can do, though, is help is always available by calling the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And I'm going to give you that number right now. So if you're feeling depressed and you need to speak to somebody, this is a telephone number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 1-800-273-8255. That's not my law office. That is the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And Lee, if you're listening, if you can put that up quickly on our screen, it's 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. That is the number for the National Suicide Hotline. And if you are feeling depressed, trust me, everybody has some level of anxiety and depression. You have to fight through it. We'll get through all this together. It's not just you, it's everybody in the world. That's what gets me through it every day. Because, I'm not saying to myself, boy, God is really punishing me. He's punishing the whole world. He's punishing everybody. So nobody's picking on Brad and nobody's picking on you, because we're all in this boat together. So that's what gets me through the day, because I know that it's not me personally. If it was me personally and I had to be quarantined and everybody else is running around and I wasn't able to go to work and everybody else is able to go to work and I wasn't able to see my family and everyone else is able to see their family, then I'd say, okay, well, somebody's picking on me. But it's everybody. It's everybody. So if you are feeling depressed, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They are there to help you. They have experts who can help you. And that telephone number again is 1-800-273-8255. Now, I don't know if you saw what happened in Michigan yesterday. A bunch of Trump supporters rallied in front of the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan, to protest the Democrat governor's stay-at-home order. It actually brought Lansing to a standstill yesterday. They called it Operation Gridlock. Downtown Lansing was clogged with vehicles of protesters. The governor's name in Michigan is Gretchen Whitmer. She had the stay-at-home order to curb the spread of coronavirus. Seems like a sensible thing to do. Now, she believes that the people who flooded the streets to rally against the state's lockdown, actually prolonging the lockdown, not only for Michigan, but for everybody, these idiots. So she says that she's really disappointed, I am too, to see so many protesters swamp the Michigan Capitol building in Lansing, not taking precautions, wearing masks, social distancing. She said she saw somebody handing out candy to little kids with a bare hand. So if her fears prove true, if one person in that group had coronavirus, that entire group now, those hundreds of people have coronavirus. And you know what happens when those hundreds of people, they don't all live in the same home. They're all going to go to different homes, different cities, different counties, and they're going to start getting other people sick and prolong it. And here they are protesting that we shouldn't have to be quarantined. And what they're doing is they're making people sick. They're possibly killing people. And they are continuing doing this for all of us. They're screwing it up for everybody. Now, South Dakota's governor resisted ordering people to stay home. And now it has one of the nation's largest coronavirus hotspots. South Dakota's governor, Kristi Noem, she stood firm. She said, nope, no statewide order. Now, Governor Noem has said it was up to individuals, not the government, to decide whether to exercise their right to work, to worship, and to play, or to even stay at home. Now, a team from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention has arrived in Sioux Falls. Why? Because it is the largest single coronavirus cluster anywhere in the United States. 518 workers at a giant pork processing plant in South Dakota, it's called Smithfield Foods, all got ill from one person who worked in that plant who had coronavirus. Now, South Dakota's total number from that 518 workers who got sick last week has now jumped to 1,311 today. 80 of the new cases are directly from Smithfield Food employees who actually work there. The rest probably are from people who came into contact with workers from the Smithfield Food company. So now South Dakota has a big hotspot. The same thing happened on the USS Theodore Roosevelt in Guam when they fired the captain for saying something. The Cook County Jail has 524 people. The USS Theodore Roosevelt in Guam, which is the aircraft carrier for the U.S. Navy, 585 people, all sick. This was kind of funny, only because of Groundhog Sam. We think this is one of Groundhog Sam's cousins, actually. An adorable buck-toothed groundhog was captured on camera casually munching on a slice of pizza while peeking into a Philadelphia woman's home through a sliding glass door. This is an absolutely true story. The hungry guy just chowed down on the snack next to a backyard barbecue as he gazed into Kristen Chalia Bagnell's house in footage that she posted on Facebook. It's not just the people that like Philadelphia pizza, Bagnell quipped in the caption of the video. At one point, her dogs Maggie and Moses ran to the door to investigate the furry intruder, but that gutsy little groundhog was undeterred, just sat there on the porch eating the pizza. The critter stayed in the spot, enjoyed his meal for more than an hour, and then finally left. We are sending Groundhog Sam out to investigate and find out more about this groundhog. We will keep you updated. Now, this is also some nice little news I saw. Volunteers at the Friends of the Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control, they erupted in a joyful celebration over a completely empty kennel. The milestone happened at the West Palm Beach, Florida Shelter Stray Housing and Adoption Overflow Kennel, where all the dogs were all happily adopted. I guess a lot of people are now adopting pets amid the quarantine, so at least pets can make them feel more comfortable. And finally, this was a really nice story. I don't know who watches Saturday Night Live. I do. Michael Che, he is the head writer on Saturday Night Live. He also hosts Weekend Update. Well, he is paying a month's rent for tenants in one of New York City's housing projects, and he's really wondering why the government isn't doing more to help. The Saturday Night Live star announced he's going to cover rent payments for all 160 apartments in the New York City public housing project where his late grandmother lived. Michael says it's crazy to him that residents of New York City public housing are still expected to pay rent when so many lost their incomes due to this pandemic. The comedian says his contribution is only a drop in the bucket, and he's calling on the New York City housing development for a better plan for debt forgiveness for anyone living in public housing. Michael also called on Governor Cuomo, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, and P. Diddy to fix what he sees as a major problem. But that was a really nice gesture on his part, absolutely.
Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.